everybody. Welcome. I'm Rosemary McCormick, and I'm the president of Shop America Alliance, and I see many of our partners are here, and I'm delighted to be with you. But since the topic today is supposed to be very personal, I was going to talk about personal brand, and I was going to share some information that people may want to know to use in their personal lives or to use in their professional lives, and may be able to apply. So the first couple quick things about Shop America, I'll give you just, for those of you who don't know about Shop America, we are a marketing organization that operates for shopping in the tourism world. We've been around for 17 years now. I am the co-founder along with this lovely lady, Kathy Anderson. But Kathy, I brought Kathy out a few years ago, so I am 100% owner. It is an LLC. It is my baby. I work on it every single day, usually 10 hours a day. I love it. I'm passionate about it because it combines fabulous things, shopping and travel, right? And related to that, about 6 years ago, we launched the Cultural Traveler, which is the sister organization that I'm partners with Sheila Armstrong on, also an LLC, and we promote cultural tourism. So we've developed unique marketing ways to promote both of these activities in the tourism world and to aggregate a great deal of product, hundreds of shopping centers, retail brands, outlets work with us, and growing that same category in culture. So that's what we really do. But the thing about this session is all about personal branding, and I want you to have some. So I'm going to first share with you some of my secrets about personal branding. Second, we're going to talk about a little exercise here that you may or may not want to participate in, although some of you have already engaged in that a little bit, and that is the hat exercise. And thirdly, then we're going to talk about you and have each one of you share maybe your thought on personal branding, what makes you unique and special, and why is it important to have a personal brand? Because to stand out in the cluttered world that we're in, everybody's got to have some kind of statement. I just came from a 2-day, what is called an intensive branding workshop that I participated in Miami with a gentleman by the name of Bruce Turkel, who brought in really an amazing assortment of people from around the world who were in quest of how to improve and elevate their personal brands. And there's quite a diversity in what is a brand, what isn't a brand, what can you own as an idea, how can you promote yourself now. My own situation, I like hats. That's an obvious thing, and I've used that as my personal branding, and I'll talk about that in a second. But I'll tell you a couple of other examples where personal branding can go to work no matter what your situation is. I happen to be the oldest of 11 children, and because of that, and because they're all married, I have a very diverse and large family with lots of sister-in-laws and brother-in-laws. So I have, actually, it's interesting. My nephew's married to a Brazilian woman, Vanessa, and I have a sister-in-law who's from which country? Latin American. She's Hispanic. Actually, she's an interpreter. And I also have 2 children that are adopted from Vietnam. So we have a lot of diversity in our families, and excuse me, one from Vietnam and one from Colombia. Oh, my son would be so upset with me. But with that, I once had one of my future sister-in-laws came to visit my husband and myself, and she said, yes, I'm here to tell you about myself. It's the first time I met her. She hands me her business card. It said, Jane, whatever her name was at the time, professional Catholic educator. I said, what does that mean? She said, I teach first grade. Okay, now this woman already had an idea. She knew about us. She said, but that's not what's really important. Come on in, you guys. She said, I'm going to tell you about my MAP plan. That's really the reason I'm here. I said, what MAP plan? MAP, marry a physicist. I said, really? She said, yes, you see, that's what my goal in life is, to marry a physicist. And your brother Joe, he's a physicist, he was a PhD candidate, so I'm going to marry him. I said, okay. How does this all work? She gets out the plan. There's a written plan. Number 1, attend a university where there's a physics program. She goes, Illinois or band. I'm not making this up. Okay, she has no interest in physics. I just told you she's a first grade teacher. She does have her master's degree, but she's number 2, hang out with physicists. She joins the physicist club. There is such a thing at this thing. And who even knows what physicists do? I, for one, have a brother who's one, and I have no idea, except I think today he might be unemployed because he works for the government. He's with NIST. Weights and measures, that's what his shtick is. But you know, so Jane said, number 3, she said, oh, I hate to tell you this part, date physicists, several of them, find out more about them. Now, Joe, he isn't the first. He's my 3rd choice, but I think I'm going to go with him. He's even my 2nd Joe, and my brother Joe is sitting there listening to the whole thing saying, that's it, very physicist, that's the plan. She had like like little newsletters about her. So she had like this whole thing written out how she was, and she did, and they've been married 20 years and they're very happy. So you have a goal, you have a plan, but she had marketing. This woman had something beyond just here's who I am. She knew exactly where she was going. Okay, that's a personal branding example. I'll tell you another example, and it haunts me to this day, but I get a kick out of it. In Dolphin Mall, who many of you know in Miami is a major shopping mall, was under development. It's now owned and managed by Taubman, but in those days it had a different developer named Michael Swerdlow, and I worked for Swerdlow as a consultant. So Dolphin Mall is kind of a pretty obvious name of branding, right? That's easy. But in those days, Beanie Babies were the big craze. So we actually cornered the market on the teeny weeny Beanie Babies that were like little keychains that were little dolphins. Bought up thousands of them. And I would go to all these trade shows. I remember in Brazil quite a bit working and handing out, because my Portuguese isn't that good, but I could say things in Spanish is like describing the concept. I had the whole shtick, the little spiel. And then I would hand them the Dolphin Mall little keychain. And they loved the little Dolphin Mall. It was great. So then years later, I'm standing at one of the shows, Power, and some little old lady tour operator, she's probably out here, because she comes up to me and she says, "Hello, yes, don't you have those rats anymore you used to come out?" "Oh, you mean the dolphins?" "That's right, Dolphine. Where are the dolphins?" I said, "No, it's rats." She thought of it. Who knows? That branding kind of went awry. But you see, it worked because Dolphin Mall got established. There it was. So branding isn't about a gimmick, though. It has to be something personal. It has to be like I told you about Jane, that she really believed in and she really worked the plan and had the brand. So when you think about your own personal branding, this hat thing, okay, I'll answer a couple quick questions. How many hats do you have? I always get that one. I don't know, because I stopped counting at 400 because my husband got too freaked out when it got over that. How do you store them? It's easy. Hats nest, you have a system, It's I put them in my closet. I don't have a special closet or special room or anything. I have hats. Why do you have so many hats? Because I love them. And they all have different images, because when you put on a hat, you're going to see it changes your image about yourself, your persona at that moment. You can change exactly who you are. To some degree, Matt nailed it when he said, you got to kind of find, and Denise, you too, find out what they want and package it and deliver it. So I wear different hats every single day for different moods. As a matter of fact, I try on a show never to repeat the same hat twice. It's very subtle, especially when you're here and you're doing straw 4 days in a row. But it's just about when you get up in the morning and that hat speaks to you, but what it's really speaking to me is I'm thinking, who am I talking to today? What am I trying to share today? What am I trying to achieve today? That's how you decide your branding. Who are you going to be talking to? So our branding serve a purpose of marketing our business. That looks very cute on you.
I would love to know more about the start of Shop America and what your branding was then and how it evolved as the company actually became something 17 years ago.
Okay, that's a really good question. And that's really interesting because, see, I wish I had woken up one day and had a grand plan to start Shop America, but I didn't. And it's sort of a business I backed into. No, the truth is, I was very happy as a consultant, consulting with major shopping center people, helping them develop their shopping tourism programs. Because since I opened Mall of America, I knew a little bit about shopping tourism, and I sort of waylaid that into my next career as a consultant, because like I said, I could never work for anybody, so I had to find a way to support myself. So one day, I had this idea to work with the Department of Commerce, of all things. And Helen Morano, who's a good friend of mine, who's also in one of these webinars via video, said to me, you have an idea. Let's go talk to Leslie. Leslie Doggett happened to be the head of it then. And so Leslie and Helen and I put some ideas together. And I said, we need to have a conference, bring shopping and tourism people together, because they don't even speak the same language. They don't know anything about each other. And Leslie says, okay, I'll host a meeting here at the Department of Commerce. We had a small meeting. There were 3 tour operators and 3 shopping people that were very prominent. And at the end of the meeting, the tour people were like, you shopping people just don't get it. We have to make money, and all you think you're going to do is give us these stupid coupon books. That was the discussion level. And the shopping people are like this. And these women were vice presidents, senior vice presidents. And I was like, oh dear. So everybody leaves, and my shopping people say, are you meeting me at the bar for wine? I said, yeah, I'll be there in a minute. So I went in to talk to Helen and Leslie, and I said, well, thank you for hosting us. And Leslie says, how do you think that meeting went? I said, I think it was the worst meeting I've ever attended, Leslie. No offense. And I guess you don't say that to Leslie Doggett at her level. She's got like pictures of every president and politician in the world surrounding her. I mean, she's a high-level appointee. I'm like, Leslie, they just don't get it. we really have a lot of work to do. And she said, you're right, you go off and figure that out. So fast forward, I was figuring it out, but nobody wanted to give me any money to do it because it's the government, they don't give you money for anything. But I happened to meet this guy, some of you may know, Jake Steinman. So Jake Steinman is a wonderful entrepreneur who became a good friend of mine. He said, you know, you're onto something with this shopping tourism thing. Why don't we do a conference together? I said, well, maybe. I don't like to do events really, but maybe we'll do it. Well, we'll do it in Napa because I lived in Napa. That was convenient. Okay, maybe. One thing led to another. We had the conference. Jake helped me put it together, and it was very successful. It sold out. It was 200 people at Silverado. It rained the whole time, so they couldn't go play golf. They couldn't go out to the wineries. It was El Nino. It was pouring. They were stuck in a room talking to each other, and magic happened. And things like, people were like, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And I was like, I'm so glad that thing's over. Now I can get back to consulting. And then this one was the next culprit, because she comes to me, oh, well, you know, I've started the Shop Arizona program, and it's really successful. And next year at the conference, I said, what next year? Oh, because we're going to have a conference next year, right? And Jake's like, oh, yeah, we are. And I'm like, oh, my God. And Kathy says, and then we need to start an association. And I'll be your partner, and we'll reach out nationally. I'm like, Kathy, I have a job, you know. I'm a consultant. But she's like, no, we need this association. And you know what, we really did need it. Because if you would go to any travel event and say, I'm in the shopping industry, and they still do it. Talk about the Rodney Dangerfield. They would act like we're some lightweights. What are you doing in here, taking up space that should be occupied by a real travel and tourism person? Don't they look at the economics? Don't they know the power of what we're bringing? No, they just think it happens. So anyway, the alliance was formed because of Kathy came to me, and we worked together for a few years. Then Kathy moved on to her consulting. We had other people help us. But after about 7 years ago, I got tired of this whole routine with executive directors coming and going, because they would work for a few years, then they would get hired by, guess what? Our members, our very members were poaching the executive directors of shopping, of the people that work for me, saying, I'll pay you twice as much, and I'll do well. So I thought, look at this Shop America thing. So I really focused on it myself, and I think I've improved the value of it to some degree, because I intensely put myself into the brand for the last 7 years. So if people say, oh, you are Shop America, no, I'm not. I'm just a person that got lucky because Kathy came to me with an idea, or Jake came to me with an idea, and kind of grew from there. And it's very organic. It grows because our members say to me, Rosemary, I want you to do a white paper on China-ready shopping. Okay, we'll do it. You know, Laura helps us with research. I want you to do a new study on the international traveler. Okay, with Laura, we'll do a study. It grows because of what you all tell us that you want, you know, you who are our partners. I want to go to Brazil. All right, we'll do it. I want to go to London. All right, we'll do it. So we figure out a way because of what our members want.
So my version of branding is just really listening to what they want and what's necessary, and not being like, I'm a musician, this is what you need. So they would give me some points. I came up with it. They got a $500,000 grant, picked up by TBN. And then I just did something else for a company. They're top 5 in the nation in pre-owned car sales. I said, give me points on what you want your song to be. They gave me 8 points. The song has 8 lines in it. I used 7 of the points. And that plays on the southeastern U.S. on Monday Night Football commercials.
Wow. Really?
So I just take an approach of, it's not about me, and it's about what do you really want, and then just try not to have a big head on my shoulders, you know, just really flex what I would normally want to do for what they need.